Welcome to the open classroom. As I've asked each time before we start one of these classes, how many of you are here for the first time ever for an open classroom class? Oh, just a small number of you, so you know what we're going to do here. We're going to take my colleague Jim Stergios, who's joining us today from the Pioneer Institute, and I are going to take the first 45, 50 minutes, and then we're going to take a little break, and then we're going to have about 45 minutes of questions. Let me just tell you how this fits into everything we've been doing. How many were here last week for Richard Wilkinson? Enjoyed it?
Oh,
unbelievable. Yes. Really fascinating guy. I had an opportunity to spend quite a bit of time with him, and I thought that was quite a special evening. We have two more sessions that are devoted to kind of setting the stage for this whole question of the role of government in the 21st century. Tonight, Jim and I are going to take a look at this whole question of rights versus market goods, and we're going to be drawing on a little thin volume by a wonderful economist named Arthur Oken, who was a brilliant economist in the 1960s. He served as chairman of the Council of Economic Advisors at the very end of Lyndon Johnson's term in office. He's credited with his own law in economics called Oken's Law, and unfortunately passed away at the young age of 52. But he, in 1975, presented a series of lectures called the Dhadkan lectures at Harvard University, in which, as an economist, he took on the question of what is a right and what is a market good, and that's what we're going to do tonight. We're going to look at them. I'm going to present first. Jim's going to then come second, and take our break, and then we'll continue. Next week, we're going to do something we've never done before, and I'm not sure any of you will want to show up, but maybe you will. I am going to do this all by myself, and I am going to play two parts next week. One that I'm perfectly suited for, and in fact do not have to change anything, my bald head nor my short stature. I am going to play Milton Friedman, the famous conservative economist who taught for decades and decades at Chicago. In fact, is known for having created the so-called Chicago School. I read Milton Friedman as a sophomore at the University of Michigan in 1963. I was so inflamed by his book, I remember throwing his book against the wall. I actually now think it is one of the most brilliant treatises on economics ever. It has a flaw or two we'll look at. But we're going to take a look at Milton Friedman's kind of conservative paradigm. And then we're going to extend my body another 1.5 feet, get a little Scottish brogue, and I'm going to play John Kenneth Galbraith, our dear friend and professor at Harvard. Spent many, many decades there before he passed away a few years ago. In fact, I think Milton Friedman, who did win a Nobel Prize, Ken Galbraith, who didn't but should have, I think actually passed away in the same year, both in their 90s. I'm going to play Galbraith, and I'm going to use one of Galbraith's earliest book called American Capitalism, The Theory of Countervailing Power, which came out in the 1950s, before his very famous books, The Affluent Society, The New Industrial State. And I'm going to contrast those two. So we're going to have some fun with that. But without further ado, let's take a look at Arthur Oken.